Hey, welcome to episode 16 of the New Slang Podcast. I'm Thomas Mooney, the editor of New Slang, and this week we went ahead and bumped up this podcast because we did it just like 3 days ago. It's with Wade Bowen. We felt like it was super relevant. So I decided let's go ahead and throw that out now and not wait like 3 weeks or something. On this episode, we talked about I guess Wade's history with the blue light and, his time here in Lubbock and, what he has coming up on the horizons with his often collaborator, Randy Rogers. And, of course, we also talked about, I don't know if I would necessarily call it a dust-up, but his mini beef with what Granger Smith said about the whole minor leagues thing. That's at the end of the podcast, so he's got some really interesting things to say on it. He was wearing a Midland Rockhounds hat when we were doing the podcast, which, of course, is a minor league team. I think he says that on the podcast, actually. But, I guess I should also mention real quick that Flatline Cavalry, they're going to be doing a back-to-back night at the Blue Light here in September. I think it's September 8th and 9th. That first date is a Thursday. It's going to be with Troy Cartwright. And then that Friday is going to be with Caitlin Butts. So, I'm pretty sure tickets are going to be going on sale pretty soon. But also, we're going to be giving away a pair of tickets, at least one pair, that's good for both nights. For more information on that, just follow us on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that. Just search for New Slang on Twitter. It's at @newslang_OBK. So, let's go ahead and just get on to this interview with Wade. Technical term?
Yeah.
All right, well, I really don't do any intros or anything. We just start talking. How's it going, man?
Good, man. Good. How are you?
Oh, not bad. Just Saturday night at Blue Light.
Yeah, man. It's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't get to hang out here much anymore, and so it's so awesome to step foot back in this place, man. Lots of memories and lots of great times.
Yeah, I actually brought a poster, that 15-year anniversary poster, because I want you to sign it later.
Yeah.
So I guess that's been like 3 years ago, at least 2 or 3 years back.
Yeah, 3 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. When was that first time you played here? Do you remember the first time?
The first time I played here, actually, so my first gig in Lubbock was actually at Stubbs, which is a couple of blocks over the old building. And it was for an open mic night, and we were the only band that showed up. So we had like 5 songs we knew, and we had to play them over and over. But we played there, and then they shut Stubbs down shortly after that. That was October of '98, and they shut Stubbs down in like March of '99. So it was really sad to lose such a historic venue for Lubbock. I mean, everybody had played there. It was really cool for us to start off there, Mm-hmm. And then a lot of the bartenders that worked there, Drew Brown being one of them, came over here to work when they opened this place. They opened up this place in February of '99. And so they called us and said, hey, we heard you guys are a new band, heard you'll have a decent following. We got gigs in Lubbock early because we had a lot of friends that came out. It wasn't because we were good. We were terrible.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of friends that came out, so they liked us because we packed the bars. And that time at the Blue Light, they were trying to do Eric Kolsar was the manager, and he was trying to do like Thursday night country night, Friday night rock night, and Saturday night piano night or something. I don't know, something like that,
like a variety night kind of thing.
So we played here on a Thursday night, and it was literally one table in the back by the window back here. Was it the whole night that showed up because nobody knew about the Blue Light. So none of our friends knew to show up, and literally we played for probably about 7 people. And it was right when they first opened too. So literally we grew with this place, vice versa. Our career, we got to cut our teeth here, and they got to learn the bar business through us as well. So I have a lot of memories here, man. I mean, I ran sound for Ragweed
Yeah.
Back before the Blue Light had sound, we had to run our own sound, and something happened. I even came up here and ran sound for Ragweed one night, and I was always up here. I mean, this place introduced me to a lot of my buddies now, Cody Canada and Boland and Cooter Graw and all those guys, you know,
Yeah.
Roger Krager, all those guys I met here playing the Blue Light. Jack Ingram, Chris Knight.
Yeah. I think one of the most underrated aspects of the Blue Light has always been that there's not really a green room. Like there's like a green little hallway maybe right there.
A green ice room. Or
yeah. So like you can, it honestly like pushes the bands kind of to mingle with people. And of course, like, you know, you can meet people here. It feels like everyone's just a little bit more interactive in a way.
Yeah, because you can't get away from,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I can
know,
see it.
But when I was first starting out, that's all I did was mingle. I was trying to mingle with everybody because we were just trying to beg people to come out.
Yeah.
But it is nice. I mean, of course, you know, along with, you know, hanging out at this bar a lot, I got to open up for some great people here too, and it was a lot of fun for me, acoustic and full band, to just get those experiences in a small venue, learn how to work a crowd, learn how to make a set list, learn how to make a show, and this place did it all for me, man. I mean, I owe everything to this place.
Yeah. What's Lubbock like? What's the difference between Lubbock now and then? Like when you come back, you know,
It just feels a lot bigger. Number one, number two, I feel old. I feel like the old guy. And there's nights when I literally still worry if people are going to show up because I'm the old guy, you know. But the kids come out; they still support us, and you know, I've always waved the Lubbock banner very proudly. So it's I hope that the kids here know that, and I think this music scene has always been cool. When I was in school here, I'd go to open mic nights. I'd go to jam nights. I'd go watch John Sprott and Sean Frankhauser. Actually, I lived next door to Sean Frankhauser for like a year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Plain Brown Rapper. You know, we go watch those guys, and it was a lot of fun. It was a very underground music scene, but a very well-crafted and underground music scene for kids like us to, if you were smart enough to go pick their brains and, you know, learn from them. It was a really good underground music scene that I don't think a whole lot of people knew about or really know about at the time. There's a lot of great musicians in Lubbock, and unfortunately, you know, we found that out too. You build up something here, you build up a name in Lubbock, and it doesn't really matter anywhere else because you're so far away from everywhere. You know,
Yeah.
you can go to Amarillo and Midland and San Angelo, and that's about it.
Yeah. One of the guys over here at Tornado Gallery, Larry Sibbins, he had a Facebook post the other day about how, you know, basically any place in Lubbock you can just, if someone's not familiar with, you just go like, oh, it's the old blah 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 building.
Exactly.
And you know, I think like we all kind of have that, where we look in the rearview mirror, so to speak, and we only see like 4 or 5 years back, and it can be hard to, you know, realize that there's guys who were here in the early 2000s, late 90s,
Yeah.
mid 90s, and they're still here, they're still working.
Yeah, it's still working. I saw John Sprott's name at Triple J over there a while ago when I was eating.
Yeah.
So cool to see that he's still doing great. I never really became great friends with John, but I watched him play all the time, you know. And he was always one of my favorites, just to go sit and listen to him play all those amazing songs. He's just endless catalog of music. It's crazy.
Yeah. One of my buddies, Brandon Adams, we were talking about this the other day. You know, he said that in a way, like those mid 90s to early 2000s guys are in the same spot that, you know, like new bands like Flatland are in, because they're both coming up, like they're both learning how to make CDs at the same time. And a lot of ways, like those, I guess like that lost generation, they're like a step behind because they weren't able to figure out how to get out on the road, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know,
Or they just, you know, maybe had chances and
Didn't
blew
want
it.
to.
Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, I can't imagine the talent level that those guys had. They didn't get opportunities, and maybe they chose to just stay here and
Yeah.
play. You know, at the Sprott, those guys, Frank guys, those guys played 7 nights a week. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it always blew my mind that they never got out more. Yeah, it was a weird time. I remember that time in the late '90s when we were really trying to figure out how to make a CD. How do you get that done? And at that time, I still had the inkling that, like, the thought process was that I still thought I might have to move to Nashville to make
record.
it, to make it big, to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The age-old story of going out there waiting tables and waiting your turn until something happened so you could get that big record deal, and like you see in the movies, and your career take off, right? And then I saw Robert Earl Keen play here my freshman year, and I'd listened to Robert's stuff, but never seen him live. And when I saw him live, I was either 18 or 19. I was a freshman here, and it changed my life. It changed my life forever. I remember going, wow, you don't have to move. I don't have to go to Nashville. I can start a band here and try to do that, and we started a band. Me and some buddies started a band, and pretty much we're a Robert Earl Keen cover band for a long time, because of that show. At that time, I think it was called The Library.
Mm-hmm. It's still over there.
Still there. Now it's
still the library. But
is it The Library?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
maybe it was called something else back then. I don't remember.
I always find that interesting, the moment whenever you realize there's middle ground between, being just not putting out a record and being George Strait. Mm-hmm. That middle ground of, like, oh, you can there's millions of musicians and bands who aren't, selling at arenas.
Right.
And you can find yourself somewhere in the middle ground.
Especially nowadays,
yeah.
I mean, nowadays more than ever, you can make a living off the middle ground if you want to,
mm-hmm.
because it's so different from when I first started. And even when I first started, there weren't. I don't think people realize that there weren't a whole lot of places like the Blue Light that gave people opportunities to play original music.
Mm-hmm.
There just wasn't. And I'm not talking about Lubbock. I'm talking about everywhere.
Everywhere.
When we first started, it was like unheard of. And now every other block has a place where people are playing their own music in Texas. And it wasn't like that, man. It took a long time to get to that point, and it took a lot of people taking risks on bands like us, putting them in their bars when they weren't a live music venue, and they took chances on us. And I mean, it really was a really cool process to watch, Pat take off, and Ragweed, and Corey Morrow, was so big back then. Like, he was such a great part of that process. I loved what he did. And then Bowen, all those guys, everything just kind of slowly took off, and it was really fun to be a younger part of that and
mm-hmm.
watch it happen. To watch them. First time I saw Cody Ragweed, I came up here because Eric Colsar said, he was the manager here at the Blue Light. He said, you need to come see this band. And so I took a break from studying or something, and I came up here, and it was like a Wednesday night or something, Thursday night, and Cody was wearing a big old, like, now I guess you could say I used to say like a Charlie Daniels feather hat, cowboy hat, now more like a Chris Stapleton hat.
Yeah.
That's you refer to it as that, but that's what he was wearing, and he was playing, like, the band had taken a break, and he was playing Amarillo by Morning on the electric guitar, just him and his guitar. That's my first glimpse of Cody, and now he's my brother-in-law and one of my dearest friends in the universe. So it's funny how, how much has changed in those years.
Mm-hmm. Where was that, like, your first record recorded? Did you have to go outside of Lubbock? And
my first record was done in Austin.
Yeah.
It was called Austin to Boston Studios, and we had no clue what we were doing. The record is no longer available, thank God. And we just went in with some buddies, and our band went in, and it was just a huge, huge learning curve as to the point that, oh my God, we probably should not be in the studio right now doing this. Of course, at the time, we're thinking we're rock stars. We're finally doing it, making a CD. But
yeah,
it was a big deal back then to have a CD. Not everybody had them like they do now. But we did it and got it out, and I was back actually when CDs sold.
Mm-hmm.
Now it was different, but I'm glad it's not available for the public anymore.
How many copies were made?
I don't even know. Probably 5,000,
Really?
maybe.
See,
Maybe.
I always like to go like on Amazon and like search for like those records that aren't in print anymore.
I have people that say, why do you get rid of that? Like, why do you lose a part of your
catalog.
Yeah. Why do you not want that? And the reason is because I have everything else I've left up.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I didn't want that one is because I feel like if people become fans of my stuff now and they're a new fan, like I do, I go back and check out everybody's previous stuff in their whole entire catalog. And I did not want people to spend their money on that and waste their money. And
Yeah.
I felt like it was wrong because it was so bad.
Yeah. So I've never really honestly thought about that part because, like, some people, I've always thought of the side of just like being embarrassed by it, but in a way, you're just saving people money.
Well,
So,
I'm
what you're
embarrassed
saying.
because I don't want them to spend their money because I'm
Yeah.
embarrassed. But yeah, I mean, it was terrible. I sound like a chipmunk, I sound like a little kid, and it's definitely I want it out of my life.
Yeah. It's funny though, like you can find some of those CDs on Amazon selling for $50,
Yeah, it's
$100. I was talking with Ryan Bingham about that, about like, he had 3 or 4 records that were just before Mescalito that were just, you just never really find, and you can find them on Amazon for like $100, and he was saying how he couldn't give them away for $5 at the time, and
I remember those records. Ryan opened up for us a lot of shows when he first started,
mm-hmm.
and I remember really loving his stuff and really thinking, man, if you just could find a right producer and get in the right moment, it could really take off. Little did I know that was going to be T-Bone.
Yeah.
But man, yeah, we have a lot of good experience together with Ryan. I don't see him much anymore, but back in the early days when he first started, I really believed in what he was doing, and really, I mean, obviously back then you knew from the get-go that this kid was not following anybody's rhythm but his own. I mean, he was doing his own thing from the get-go, and it was really fun. I got kicked out of the only time I've ever gotten kicked off stage was at Blanco's in Houston, Texas, and I have no clue why they kicked us off stage. They didn't like us. They thought we were on drugs or something, and I was like, man, I've never done drugs in my life.
Yeah.
And Ryan Bingham opened up the show, and he was standing up for us, man. He was chewing those people's asses, saying it's wrong. We're nice guys. What's wrong with y'all and everything. It's so funny to look back on that, man. But he said, I remember the owner walking up and go, y'all, you're done. It's like, we're not done. You want to get paid, you're done. I go, yes, sir. We'll pack up our stuff right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's only time.
The only time I've ever gotten kicked off stage. I'm not a troublemaker, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we even got kicked off stage. I shouldn't even be on my record. We weren't even doing anything. But it's safe to say we never played Blanco's in Houston, Texas ever again.
Well, I'm guessing that's before phone era of recording. So
yeah.
you may have been Johnny Cashing it up there,
I might have
smashing lights.
I don't think I was. I just know we were really tired. We'd played the Wormy Dog in Stillwater the night before for a St. Patty's Day party, and we drove in a pickup truck pulling a trailer all the way to Houston the next day, and we had to play the Blancos. We had to set up our own sound, run our own sound, and play like 3 or 4 45-minute sets. It's one of those gigs,
Mm-hmm.
So we were just exhausted, man. I was like, Stillwater to Houston is
It's a
long-ass drive.
Yeah.
So who cares?
Yeah. That, to me, I think like the craziest part of you talking on any of this is like that you guys all had to run your own sound.
Yeah.
I don't really think there's many. Obviously you're not running your own sound now in the same way.
Back
but
then, I felt like it was smart because I got gigs because I had a PA.
Yeah.
And there's people literally that booked me because we had sound system and they didn't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
So we got real lucky there. It was a chance I took, borrowing some money and paying it off and hoping that it was right. And yeah, we ran our PA because like I said, those venues, they didn't have PAs.
Yeah.
They they started booking bands, but they didn't know what they were doing either. So they didn't know you had to have sound to go with it. So we got gigs because I had a PA. So
Yeah.
it helped me a lot, especially back then because we were terrible. So it helped get me probably
Just
more gigs than I should have gotten.
The push to being.
Can't imagine running my own sound now.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work, loading in and loading out every night, man. It was a lot of work.
Well, I mean, this little board I have here. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. I can't imagine
Running a whole band, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun, man. But back then, I mean, it's just different. I look back on it all and go, man, I don't think I could start over. I don't have that drive anymore, you know, to go through all that I did. But back then, man, it didn't faze me one bit. I drove all over. I'd be at my apartment in Austin after I graduated from Lubbock. I paid for a place in Austin, but I was there maybe 4 or 5 days a month, you know. I'd play like Stillwater on a Saturday night and stay at the bar owner's house with he and his wife, and just so I could play Monday night acoustic for $100. You know, like I did that kind of stuff all the time, and didn't faze me one bit to drive all over God's green earth for $50, $100 just to get my name out there and do it, you know. And I loved it. I mean, I was obsessed with it. And then when I graduated from Lubbock, I was living in Austin, but my band was all still here. So I was pulling the trailer, just me and myself, driving all over, meeting them, so they could take turns driving. I had to drive everywhere myself for about 2 years.
What was everyone has that like long drive. What's like the longest drive
for a gig?
Yeah. Between two spots.
One time I was in Nashville writing and working on some stuff, and I had to drive to Stillwater, and I left late. I can't remember why, but I was scared to death, and I was like speeding like crazy, like hitting the governor on my car the whole way there, freaking out. I remember we were opening up for Ragweed at the Wormy Dog on the 1 year anniversary of September 11th. And I was late.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, don't be late for that gig, Wade, you know?
Yeah.
And I was running late. I slid in there sideways and like Ace Ventura style, man. And ran and jumped up on stage, literally. Ran up the stairs and jumped on stage.
Wow.
Right when I got there.
Yeah. What were those Ragweed shows like back in the day? Like when it was, I think like we always think of, like we think of bands or eras or times being, I don't know, like it's hard now to sum up something. You know, how was it for, like when it was happening?
Man, it was probably the most fun I've ever had playing music. We were still working our asses off, and they were blowing up, and we were so happy for them. And it was just, I mean, it was just crazy. It was just, they didn't know necessarily how to handle it, and they didn't care. And none of the crowds cared. They literally got that record deal because they had such a huge fan base, huge fan following, you know. And Tony Brown fell in love with them because their fan interaction was just insane, you know. Cody and those guys, they had everybody in the palm of their hand every single night. And it's really sad. I really miss the band. I really miss those guys, and I miss that music as much as I love The Departed now. I think it's really cool, you know. And Cody's playing a lot of that Ragweed stuff. But there was just something about those four guys not being perfect, not being the best musicians, but just
the real
so
garage
passionate,
aspect of it.
Yeah, it was very, you know, Nirvana, Pearl Jam kind of thing, you know, to me. And it was just so real. It was just, Cody to me is the ultimate rock star that has such a nice presence about him. You know, you usually don't get both. You usually get a really nice guy or a rock star asshole.
Yeah.
And Cody's like the best at both. I think he's a great front man, always has been a great front man. And those days were just so fun to play shows with him. And, you know, for multiple reasons, you know, but another big thing was they were so good about helping us and helping their friends. They were so good about that. Shannon and everybody was, you know, they were always trying to put you on shows, all opportunities that you had. They always were inviting you to come on stage and sing with them. I mean, it was just, I've learned a lot from the ragweed days and from what those guys did and had at the time. It was a lot of fun, man.
Mm-hmm. I can't imagine, just the weight of that band as far as knowing, like, they play now as far as The Departed goes, and people are wanting ragweed songs played. I can't imagine, like, feeling in a way obligated to doing that. You know what I mean?
Playing those songs?
Yeah, well, not necessarily like just playing those songs, but like doing the nostalgia thing in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because I think every artist wants to continue pushing their new stuff.
Yeah.
And finding that balance, I guess, between, hey, here's the new stuff I've written that I want you all to all listen to and like, but also I know you all want to hear 17.
Yeah.
And
no, it's really hard, and especially for Cody because, he's really fighting that ragweed thing and trying to get The Departed. Well, they're doing great, but it's like I said earlier. I don't know if I could do what he's doing. Start all over from scratch. I mean, it shows you how much passion he has for what he does. Cody will be one of those people. Like, I mean, he'll. I don't know. Hopefully, it's a long way down the road, but he'll die on the road. I mean, he'll be Willie Nelson. I mean, he'll never stop playing. And so, he's always writing and always has new stuff that he's pushing. And I find when we knew, I've never really talked to Cody about it. But when I have a new record, it gets harder every year. Every record, to figure out what you're going to play, what new stuff you're going to play. Mm-hmm. I think it's really important to figure out off new records what you're going to push, because as much as we play live, it's just as important as having a single, because if people are coming out to watch you, they're probably hearing what you're playing off the new record just as much as they would of something on the radio. So it's really important to choose wisely what you want to play for them, what you want them to know and get, and how you want those new songs to affect your show, because your show becomes a new thing for you and for them as a listener. So it's always I remember the last Wade Bowen record, the self-titled record. I remember calling around different guys, just buddies, Willie Braun and Ray Wiley, asking, "Hey, just curious, man, how do y'all do it when you have a new record?" Like, I'm always trying to learn something,
Yeah.
And if somebody like Ray Wiley Hubbard's willing to give me some advice, I'll take it.
Yeah. Well, you have like 25, 26 slots as far as your set list goes, and
I have about 19 actually.
Yeah, well,
we
I was
kind of drag them out.
But you only have the same amount of slots every year.
Yeah,
for the set list, plus
you
you're
get
adding
more songs added to it.
But
and you also, like you said, you have the songs that people showed up there to hear, and man, they get mad if they don't hear them.
Yeah,
there's some songs you're just like, I don't want to play this tonight, but I have to.
Yeah,
or they're going to be. That's why they paid their money,
Yeah.
So it's a tricky game, man, but I guess it's a good game to have.
Yeah, it's a good problem.
Good problem to have.
Like these last 2 years. When did the self-titled come out? 13 or 14? 14?
14.
And then obviously you followed up with.
And then 15 was Hold My Beer. Mm-hmm. And then earlier this year was the gospel record, and then just a month ago was the acoustic record with Randy. So my manager keeps laughing. He's like, "Man, this is pretty quick to be releasing new stuff." But I'm really happy in my career and really loving the freedom to be able to do these things. He actually slowed me down. I was going to make some more records and try to do some other stuff, and he's like, hit the brakes, buddy. Pedal, let's slow down a little bit and pace ourselves a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I just I think it's a day and age when you can do that. Like I said, it's not the CDs anymore. It's digital. 80 to 90% of my sales are digital anyway. So kids are, they lose, not that they lose interest, but their attention span is a lot less.
Yeah.
An attention span than ever. So I'll just keep trying to feed them new stuff. And,
Yeah. Well, the gospel record, that's something that you really couldn't have done 10 years ago.
yeah.
Or it would have been a lot more difficult, obviously. As far as what I know about it, it's one of those things where, you made it for your mother and didn't necessarily know if you were going to put it out, and we're just kind of...
Yeah, when I made the record, actually Sean McConnell produced it.
Oh, really?
Because I had no time to do it. Like, literally, I had like 4 open days when I could do it and get it done in time for my dad to give it to my mom. It was for her birthday / Christmas. And so I was so busy working that Hold My Beer tour and my tour and then the West Coast tour and all this stuff. So I had no time to do it. And I told Sean, I remember having the conversation. I said, my dad wants me to make a record, low budget, for my mom, gospel. You're the most spiritual person I know, and I know you'll work hard, and I need the help because I have no time. Can you do it? He said, yes. And then I said, and let's keep in mind that it's not going to be released, but we know how that works.
Yeah.
Like I even try to make sure I get good work tapes when I write them now, because you just never know what's going to be heard by the world anymore. So
Yeah.
we made sure that we didn't just half-ass it. We made sure that we made it with every intention of releasing it in our minds, even though we really didn't think we were going to. And then after we finished it and family heard it and everybody, it really came out way better than I ever could have imagined, thanks to Sean. So once I heard the finished product and everybody else heard it in the family, it was just like a no-brainer. Like, why not? Why not release it? What's it going to hurt? I mean, it just shows a very unique side of Wade Bowen. I think it has a very Americana folk approach to it that I've never done before on records.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of went after the Buddy Miller sound sonically. We channeled our inner Buddy Miller, and that was a cool sound that I really wanted people to hear. And then also the gospel stuff as well. It's just a different side of songs entirely. So, but I made sure I didn't put a bunch of money into advertising or promoting it like normal, and did the same thing with this acoustic record with Randy. We just chose to just put it out there and let word of mouth spread, and that's kind of the way I am right now. I'm not really worried about a whole lot. I just want to enjoy music and for the right reasons, and try to get people to follow along with me as well.
The gospel record had a real grassroots feel to it. I feel like I may be misremembering here, but it felt like it was just basically released and announced the same week kind of thing, or at least within a couple weeks, and just was there. I wish more artists would do that, maybe, as far as because it feels more real, more genuine, just not as calculated and planned.
Yeah. Well, there's good and bad to both. I mean, the calculation, when you really go through a whole record release properly, it does make a lot of sense. As frustrating as it is, I mean, it's more frustrating for the artist than anybody, because, like they say, okay, I'll say it's going to be done this time, and they'll say, cool, well, we need 4 months of preparation. So you're talking about waiting 4 months to hand it out to people and stuff. But when it's all said and done, that 4 months is a very short time frame for overall, when you're looking at the overall picture, the overall goal. And there is a difference. If I'd have done that with the gospel record, it probably would have been sold more and probably would have had a bigger aspect, a bigger approach to everything. But I like the fact that we didn't do it with that. I like the fact that we just put it out there and let word of mouth take over.
Yeah, no, I thought it was great. So what's, I guess, on the front as far as, Hold My Beer? Because obviously you did the live record, which I guess was, talking with you before, that was kind of more the plan before, was doing a live record. Then you guys decided to do a studio record. Then you finally, do the live record. What's the plan going forward with that? Are you guys going to do?
Well, okay, we had all these shows recorded, and we'll continue to record them just because it's it's so easy and fun. And I mean, I've got a Green Hall show from 2008 that I've got recorded. You know,
Yeah.
I just like to preserve this stuff and have it. And Randy's willing to let me kind of have free reign with this Hold My Beer thing. You know, it's just it's kind of fun. Starting our own label, Little Buddy Tunes, and
Yeah.
he kind of just lets me run the whole thing. It's kind of nice. He just, yeah, okay, cool, you know, do it, whatever you want. Just take my money, you know. And but splitting everything evenly, you know, it's just fun. It's fun to do it. We're good buddies, and we've been through hell and back together, and I think it's fun. You hear it in all of it. I mean, you hear all the hell that we go through. You hear all the heartbreak, and you hear all the laughter, and it's a crazy, crazy friendship we have. And when we were going to go, so we were going to release the record, we had it set to do a live acoustic record first. And so we were going to go in the studio. We went in the studio to record 3 songs that we were going to tag at the end of the acoustic album. And use those to have singles to radio so we could talk about the album. And then when we got in there, we realized it was too good to just do 3 songs, and it was too much fun. So we immediately booked some more studio time and just said, let's just make a record. And literally management is calling both of us and saying, what in the hell is going on down there in Austin, Texas? And why is all these what's all the studio time you're paying for? What's all these invoices? You know,
Yeah.
because we didn't tell them. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't plan any of it.
Yeah.
We just knew it was fun and felt good, you know. And Lloyd Maines was, you know, I had high expectations anyway working with Lloyd, but then to actually see him work and get to be in the room with him was just a blast. So he made it so easy and fun. We just let's go make a whole record. We really didn't know what we were going to do with it, and that was the end of October, and we released it in April.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's literally how quickly it all.
Were those first 3 done with Lloyd? Those first 3 songs that you were going to tack on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the first 3 we did were with Lloyd producing, and then, well, it's too good. Let's just do the rest of the record.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we followed it up this year with, as we got set to do our acoustic tour that was, you know, it's real sporadic this year. It's not all grouped together, but we are in the middle of our Hold My Beer and Watch This acoustic tour now. So we decided to release the live stuff as originally planned this year. And then we're going back in at the end of this year to start another Hold My Beer Volume 2. So I don't know what's going to happen with more live stuff, but the studio stuff, we're going to continue to call it Hold My Beer, Volume whatever. The Watch This is the name of the live stuff that we've done. There may be more volumes of Watch This. I don't really know yet. I don't want to wear people out with live stuff. You know, there's only so much you can do of live stuff.
You'll have like
it gets boring.
Well, I'm a fan of Bob Dylan. Dylan has all the bootleg series stuff.
Yeah,
and he's like on like 15 or something like that now.
Is he really that many?
Yeah, now I think like the last couple of them have been a little long-winded. It's like, man, some of this stuff is good, but you could have used a little bit of an editor here and there. But as far as like what, you know, I guess like some of those new ones are like 6 discs long, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it's like, just make it 2 discs. Come on, like, but
that's the plan. We're just going to keep recording and see what happens. You know, I think there's really magical moments that happen. You know, like on this live acoustic thing, we have actually recorded at Cheatham Street one night when the train came by during one of my songs, and it's like it was one of those magical moments we just happened to capture on tape. You know, and it's things like that I keep wanting to try to capture. You know, Randy's fun to record because you never know what he's going to say or what he's going to do. Mm-hmm. It's hilarious. Like every night I stand on stage and just kind of go, here we go. There's no telling where he's going to go with this or what he's going to say. And sometimes it's the funniest stuff I've ever heard in my life, and sometimes it's like I'm going to kick your ass after the show. But it's always entertaining. It's like never a dull moment with him, and I love how he wears his heart on his sleeve, and I think we both do. So I think you hear that in these recordings, and I encourage people to try to check out the live record. It's really fun.
Yeah, live records are. I think like that's probably. I mean, this probably sounds like an obvious thing, but it's more of a timestamp than even records are, and I kind of feel like records are timestamps. You know,
for sure, man.
Yeah.
The live records are very timestamped, and you know, this whole record that we released is 1 year that we did, one tour. It wasn't like 4 years apart.
Yeah.
You know, it was one tour that we did 1 year. And so we'll just continue to do that. I think that's exactly what it is. We have a really good show recorded that's full band from the Hold My Beer tour that we did, because it's always an acoustic tour. But then last year we took the band out because of the studio. And we have a great show recorded from Dallas, Texas, that's the whole show, unedited from start to finish, that's literally being mastered as we speak right now. And I have it. That way it's done.
Yeah.
Who knows when I'm going to release it? It might be 20 years from now, but it's done. And it's a really amazing record. Like, it's just one of those, like, man, you know, Rob Dennis is my friend in Nashville that's doing all this live stuff, and he was like, you got to hear this record, man. And so he sent it to me, and I was just like, man, it's me and Randy and this band that we had out on our A++ game, you know, and it's fun to capture those nights and hear it.
Were you inspired by any like live records? Like,
well, yeah, the Robert Earl,
number
2 live dinner. That was the most inspiring record maybe ever for me.
Mm-hmm.
What else? I listened to a ton of Springsteen live stuff because he's so good at capturing that.
Has a bunch of like bootleg stuff, you know.
Oh yeah, he records audio and video every night.
Yeah,
always has.
Yeah,
he probably started video later on in his career, but he's always recorded.
Yeah, you can find
show.
a lot of just unreleased stuff on YouTube.
Yeah,
of just like 3-hour shows.
Oh yeah,
which is crazy.
He'll live on forever because he's got so much recorded. And
yeah,
his stuff is great too. You never know what he's going to do or say or who's going to pull on stage. And yeah, live records are fun if they're done right.
Yeah. What's your favorite Springsteen? I know you're a fan.
Man, I really love this song called "Loose Change." It's on the Tracks box set that he had. I'm shocked that that song never. You know, the Tracks were a bunch of songs that never found their way to records, and it's like a lot of that stuff I don't understand, but especially "Loose Change." I'm like, how in the world did a song this well written not make it to an album? You know?
It's there's a song on there called "Gave It a Name," what I really like, but like it doesn't feel like it's finished.
I think a lot of that stuff wasn't. They just left it unfinished, don't you think?
Yeah, but to me, I'm like you, where it's like, how did you not finish that? Like I was
because he's just that good. You know, it's crazy. There's no telling how many of those that he probably hasn't recorded that he thought weren't that great, and there's no telling how good they probably are. You know.
Yeah, he's one of those artists who has really found a way to transform into essentially like a different guy over 10 years.
He's adapted very well.
Yeah, like his like the Nebraska era kind of stuff. Like there's a lot of hints on the river of what was going to come to Nebraska, and there's still like even hints after in Born in the USA that kind of feel the same. And 5 years before that, it's Born to Run. It's strange how like he's been able to just adapt and change
because he's so good at he's just so good at everything, but he has so much passion when it comes to his music and what he does. And one of his biggest influences was Woody Guthrie, and Woody Guthrie would he traveled around everywhere, going where the madness was, where the darkness was, so that he could figure out how to write about it. And that's what Springsteen really has done with his career. He finds ways to. He's got so many incredible stories of him just standing up for himself and for his music, and here's what needs to happen, not what is probably best overall. The Nebraska record, he actually did a full studio done, produced version of that record, and when he went to turn it in to the label, he pulled the tape from his analog 4-track recorder that he'd done all the work tapes on. He felt at the last second as he's turning it in the label that was a better representation of the songs. So he literally hands in a work tape, and that's what you hear. And they loved it. but the studio version was a whole produced. I mean, it had like "I'm on Fire" and all that stuff on there, that eventually made its way to the next
USA.
record. And it's like, then he decides with "Born in the USA," how big can I get? I want to see how big I can get. And so he makes an overproduced
Pop record.
pop commercial sounding record, and that was the game changer that just made him go from, amphitheaters to damn stadiums.
Yeah. His
He just always has a very good grasp on what he's going to do. I mean, it's the guy that fired the E Street Band because he felt like he didn't have anything else to offer each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then he brings them back when September 11th happens because he needs them back in his life. I mean, it's remarkable the passion that he has with the music, and that's why he's such a huge influence of mine, because I just went and saw him in Phoenix earlier, a couple months ago. It took my son Bruce, actually, he's named after him, and Bruce finally is getting old enough. He's 11 now. He wanted to see why want to see his namesake, right?
Yeah.
And man, it was just 66 years old, I guess he is now, and he was sick that day, and just still 3.5 hours. I mean, and my son was 10 at that time. He just turned 11 last week, so a 10-year-old boy for 3.5 hours didn't ask for anything to drink or eat or to go to the restroom. We sat there and watched the entire show on our feet, screaming and yelling the whole time. And Springsteen lost his voice and got it back, and lost his voice and got it back, and was crowd surfing. And it's just like, there's just not a better entertainer in the world.
Yeah, that's to me probably like the biggest thing about Springsteen is that he's still doing 3.5 hour shows.
It's crazy.
Like, nobody would complain if he was doing, an hour and a half.
No.
Nobody would complain at all. But
it'd be the greatest hour and a half ever. But he refuses to. Feels like he lets people down if he doesn't give them 3.5. I guess.
Yeah. He's
crazy. He loves music, man. You can see it when he's up there. He just loves it, and it's fun to watch that. It's very inspiring.
He's also done like shows where I remember there's like 5 nights in a row where you played. I guess Darkness on the Edge of Town one night all the way through. The next night he did it again, and then he did like Born to Run, and Born to the USA. It may have been like 6 nights or something like that. But playing the record all the way through, and then at the end, obviously playing the hits and just new stuff.
Yeah, that's what this tour was. We saw a couple months ago. It was
the River stuff?
The River, so which was a double disc, so it's a long album. He played from start to finish. The River, and it was, the River. I've always loved the River, but not. I've always liked it, but not just fallen in love with it. River for some reason, I don't know why. And after hearing it, the way he played it, it was just maybe my favorite album now. I don't know. Yeah. It's just when you hear it and hear the stories and hear them, it's just amazing.
There's a little, probably like 30-40 minute documentary about the River on HBO. Back whenever they did the re-release and all that kind of stuff, and it's one of those stories about how the River wasn't originally supposed to be like a 2-disc record. It was supposed to be just a 1-disc one called like The Ties That Bind, and then it's one of those stories where they get it all set up, and he's just like, no, this isn't what it's supposed to be, and then like pulls guys back in and writing new songs, and finally, gets this 2-disc monster record, and is just adamant about it being 2 discs, and right back then, 2 records.
That's insane, right? Back then, he just knew. It's crazy how he just knew from the get-go, like what he should and shouldn't do. It's always worked out for him.
Yeah. What record would you play all the way through?
Of mine?
Yeah. If you did a show like that.
Well, right now I'd probably go back to Lost Hotel. Just that's a pretty nostalgic record for me in my career now, and people really. I still get comments about people loving that being their favorite record of mine. I think it was more of the songwriter record for me. I really, really at that time wanted to prove myself as a songwriter. I don't feel like I'd done that yet and really made a great record yet. The Blue Light was fun, and Try Not to Listen was amateur, but it was what I was doing for a young 20-year-old. But I feel like I really grew up at Lost Hotel. It took me 3 years to make the record and save up the money, and it's just there's just a lot of memories from that record in those days of me really trying to prove myself on so many different levels. And yeah, that record still will always hold a very, very, very special place in my heart. I don't think it was my best record ever made, but it's definitely my most memorable.
Yeah. I think like that's one of those things where those aren't necessarily, they don't necessarily mean the same thing, you know, as far as most memorable, best record. And I think a lot of people obviously kind of blend those two to being the same thing. Or like your favorite record, for example, you know, like my favorite record of Springsteen's is The River, but I don't think that's necessarily his best record.
Right.
You know, but yeah. So is that what you're doing tonight? Just gonna play the records?
Yeah, man. We're a little limited tonight on what we play. We've been doing our show. We lost our buddy Jay Saldana, you know, our drummer, who decided to get off the road and do whatever he thinks he wants to do. I tried to tell him he's too good of a drummer to not be doing it, but hopefully he'll realize that and figure out some way to do it in some form or fashion. But so we've been, you know, when you have such a close knit group of guys and not just hang wise, but playing wise, you can put the best musicians in the world together, and it takes them a long time to gel. And so we've had different drummers come out over the last few months, and we've got a guy named Alex Geismer from Austin that's been playing with us the last few weeks and doing a great job. But we're still trying to piece the whole thing back together, so we're a little limited on what we can play.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it takes time to gel. You know.
Yeah. Takes a while to learn everybody's senses, and the drummer, you know, is the glue that holds it all together. It's the critical. It's the offensive lineman of the band. You know, the guys that does the most work and gets the least amount of credit. But the drummer's it. Makes or breaks records. He makes or breaks the live shows. I mean, it's the focal point of everything you do. So everybody wants to give the credit to the singers and the writers and the guitar players, but it's the rhythm section and the drummers that make us who we are.
Yeah. You know, like, I guess this was probably going to come up. You talked about it already a couple times, but like the minor leagues thing. Yeah. What's I guess like you guys
hat on, by the way, from Midland, the Rock Hounds. I bought it yesterday.
You guys were down there yesterday.
How ironic was it? We played a minor league baseball field last night.
That's pretty funny.
Which Chase, we told Granger. We let Granger know. You know, he and I, since all this has happened, he called me and handled it very classy, and so he and I have been texting a lot back and forth. For those of y'all out there that are wondering what we're talking about, so I read an article on the Boot, which I think the Boot is really cool. They always they've talked about us a little in the past, and have always seemed to keep a really good head on what's going on with country music, you know. And so I just happened to I actually got this article sent to me by someone. I'm not going to name names because I don't want to get anybody else started into this mess with me. So I read the article, and it was a very well written, really, really great piece on Granger Smith and his family and his work ethic and his pride from being from Texas and all this great stuff. But there was one paragraph that stuck out to me that said, I'm very, very fortunate for the Texas music scene as a testing ground. It was the minor leagues for us. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Something to that nature. So I just reposted that paragraph and said, love my life, cheers to the minor leagues. And I didn't say anything bad about Granger or his music or anything. And just simply said, if that's the way someone feels. My thought at the time was, if that's the way someone feels, I'm just let it be known I'm happy. I'm good. I'm good with that. And it has just blown up like crazy.
It's what
all the comments of people just getting so out of hand, of people saying ridiculous things that I am jealous, or that I'm bitter, or that I'm, calling him a sellout. And I mean, where you get that from that one statement, I have no clue. But people just like to be mean, I guess, sometimes. And
yeah, well, that's one of those things where you said like 6 words or something like that, 6 or 7
8
words.
yeah.
And, or okay, 8.
I've counted them.
Okay, but like, I've never seen so much of a blow up about.
Me either.
I thought it was just kind of one of those like. You had an opinion, not necessarily even opinion. You had an opinion, but like nothing that's over the top.
Yeah, nothing crazy. But definitely wasn't shit talking anybody. You know, I just it definitely has gotten out of hand. But you know, since it's brought up and since people are questioning it, and you know, I will say that since I have a right now to defend myself, you know, I did get a little offended by it because I don't think that it's testing ground. I don't think Texas music is the minor leagues, and I don't necessarily think that Granger meant it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was taken out of context. I think he probably, like he and I discussed, he's had a different career in Texas and blown up, and it's a completely different career than me.
Yeah.
So it was just a poor choice of words, is all it was. He's a great guy, and I've always heard great things about him. And you know, but I believe where my thought at the time was, man, Texas is so much more than a testing ground. I always talk about this, the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
We have a foundation of fans that we build here to have an established career that can last for 40 or 50 years if you want to do it that long. That's not testing ground. That is something that's very, you know, however you want to call it, major league, or something that's very noteworthy and something that we're very proud of here. And I just feel like I should, you know, now that it's being brought up, I'm just going to stand up for our scene and stand up for not just our scene but indie artists everywhere.
Yeah.
Jason Isbell, Sturgill Simpson. I mean, like the list goes on and on of artists that you know, do things the way they want to. I've been on both sides. I've been on a major label before, and I've been on independent labels before.
Yeah.
You know, I've been indie like I'm now, so I know both sides. I know the pressure that he faces, and like I said, that whole article was him talking very highly of Texas and his family, where he came from, and all that stuff. So I definitely did not intend to cause the stir for him and his family that it has caused.
Yeah, I think like. One, I don't think he necessarily meant it that way. You know what I mean? I think he could have said it a whole lot better, in better terms. But also, I think that in a way, a lot of people have been hypocritical on this whole thing, because had it been a Nashville guy, like an established Nashville guy, I think everyone would be, you know, rioting about a comment like that. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people who are critical of the comment and, you know, have been vocal about that. But I think, like, you know, I don't know. I think, like, a lot of fans here in Texas have been a little quieter about the comment than I thought they would have. Because honestly, I think had it been any Nashville guy, like established Nashville guy, people would have been up in arms, you know.
Yeah.
Because like Florida Georgia Line had a comment, like that whole thing with Charlie Robinson a few months back,
right? And
people were going all ape shit about that. You know,
yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. I think the scene is very proud and it's very amazing. I think it's the best fans.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just the furthest thing from minor leagues. It's a great established foundation of fans and friends and people that love music.
Yeah.
And don't care about anything other than that. And it's really all it is. You know, this is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And nowadays, more than ever, I think the majors are the minors now. I think they're in the minor as far as how they. There's just not very many of them anymore that really are knowing how to survive. And you know, to me, it's all relative. Success is relative. It's all in your head. There's kids out there that are consider opening up for us or the Randy Rogers Band or somebody that consider that successful.
Yeah.
There's people that, you know, think they need to be in a tour bus to be successful. There's people that, you know, whatever your form of success is, then you're successful.
Mm-hmm.
There is no major minors. There is no reason to even draw boundary lines in the sand anymore, because there's this. It's so diverse and music is so wide open, and so many different avenues to get your career started and going and put it out there for everyone to hear and follow along. So we're very blessed and lucky to have everyone, and I mean press in the scene. I mean DJs. I mean radio stations. I mean record stores. Bus
venues,
drivers.
yeah.
I mean venues that are willing to put us in their bars. I mean, this is such a blessing that we have, and I just wanted to reiterate that. That's all I did.
Yeah.
And I want to end this whole thing by saying that I wish Granger Smith and his band so much success, because they're from Texas, and the more success they experience, the better it is for all of us. And like I told him, we're rooting for you. I say a prayer for him every night since then. We always say a prayer before we walk on stage. I throw him in my thoughts and say, I hope they get through all this nonsense that they're getting.
Yeah.
And I hope they come out better for it. And I hope the next time he has a chance to talk about our scene, I believe he'll say the right words, that the way he really feels, and it'll be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all make mistakes, and we all live and learn from them. And I can't say enough great things about him and how classy he's been to me since all of this. So
yeah,
it's all part of it, man.
Yeah,
Just another step. Like I told him, man, I said, hey, you and I are the age-old saying, any publicity is good publicity. I guess you and I are both about to find out if that's really true or not. So
yeah, well, I guess we'll see tonight.
Yeah.
How many people come to burn records or anything?
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. If they're that passionate about burning records and whatever.
Yeah. Well, we're rolling on an hour here, so yeah, it's good talking with you.
Yeah, man, you too. Thanks so much.
Going to let you.
I enjoyed talking music. So
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'll let you.